right, Chase. They have a Zelda and a Link in
Who's
live
they?
action.
Oh, yes.
They have confirmed via Nintendo Entertainment that we have cast two individuals for the
That
roles
you've
of.
never heard of.
Yeah, they've been in stuff, but like very much not household names at this point.
But I think that's by design. It's like
Yeah.
let's not put somebody who Let's not put. I'm trying to think of a guy. Uh, the guy who was Elvis Butler.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like
the white
you're not
guy.
gonna make him Link. Like somebody would go like, oh, it's that guy. It's like Link needs to be. You want to make him Link. You don't want to make him a guy who's playing Link.
Yeah.
You don't want to hire like a Chris Pratt to be your main Nintendo character.
Why would you do something like
silly? That'd be ridiculous.
Not to bury the lead too much here, but Bo Bragason is playing Princess Zelda, and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth will be playing Link. They both appear to be pretty young. I think a couple years ago there was one of the Haunting of Bly Manors, and I believe Evan he was 16 at the time, so he's probably at this point like in that 18 to 20 range, which I think that's about appropriate for.
Do you think this is all like a psyop, and that we're going to get, if this is like an Ocarina of Time thing, are we going to get an adult Link?
I think if we were going to get an Ocarina of Time Link, this would be too old to play young Link. So this to me
feels too young to play old Link.
But too young to play. Yes. Yeah, this is the. So if I had to guess, I don't think they go Skyward Sword, even though canonically, like that's the first story in this. I don't think that they need to do that here.
Yeah.
I kind of think that like a good starting point here, if you're going with this, would be A Link to the Past. I think that's a cool story to bring in.
How interesting is the story of Zelda for the characters of Link and Zelda?
Zelda way more than Link.
Well,
like
sure,
it's really Zelda's
but I feel
story.
like both of them have like no real, like the story stuff is like the things that happen around them
to Hyrule and others and shit.
Yeah, and less of them. I don't know.
That's why I think A Link to the Past is interesting, because of the whole, alternative universe of Hyrule you get in that game. I think that could be pretty compelling and interesting on screen. I don't think this is Twilight Princess. I think that's way too niche and weird to start with.
How do you even think this is structured? Like, is this going to be a single story, or is this going to be like a Monster of the Week thing, but it's a Dungeon of the Week? Are we going to go to each different dungeon in a single episode, or are we going to try to tell one story about Link going and defeating something and defeating like a Ganon and getting the
there's a lot that could be done here. I think ultimately, like if you look at the traditional Zelda games, like anything kind of pre Breath of the Wild, they start with a miniature version of a longer expedition. So what I mean by that is like Ocarina of Time, you have to go get the 3 Spirit Stones, and then that leads you in to getting to the 7 Sages. I could see this being tied more to something more like, okay, this is going to be Link. You're going to see 3 different dungeons, perhaps, of Hyrule, maybe some lore around like shrines if they want to try and sprinkle them in just to establish that lore here. But it'll be collecting those items that will then bring to life like the Triforce between Ganon. You probably get a Ganondorf, I would imagine, going into a Ganon.
Yeah, you would definitely. I think you would especially get a Ganondorf.
Yeah.
See, I don't think they're gonna fuck with any of that. I don't think they're gonna have MacGuffin stuff that this Link has to collect. I think it's going to just kind of be a story that they tell, like a pretty traditional save the princess kind of story, and I'm sure she'll get to do stuff too, to make it more even, or maybe even do some stuff like they did with the Jesus, what's the newest game?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears, yeah. No. The
Echoes of Wisdom.
Echoes of Wisdom. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like maybe she has to save him in some instances as well, like in that game. But I think at most we get like hints at stuff. Like you'll get like the music when he opens a chest or something, or some guy will say, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Uh, but I think you're just gonna get something where like Link holds up a hook shot at one point and goes like, "Should I use this?" And they're like, "No," and just
I
throws it
don't think
away.
it's
I
going to
don't.
be corny
Well, I
like
don't think
that.
it's going to be hilarious, but I think it's not a joke a minute thing. But I think they are going to do some visual gags rather than
I don't know.
like actually go through a structure of a video game.
I feel this is going to have a tone, and this is probably wishful thinking, but I think it could have something akin to the Neverending Story or Labyrinth. Like I see it kind of going like that darker fantasy, but still like kid gloved. You know, like even though those were super dark and probably geared a bit more adult, even for the audience that was marketed to. Like being a kid that was young when I watched those things, like it was always a kid thing. So like I kind of see Disney going that route with this. Like they've approached this with a bit more maturity, I think, than others. And we'll see. Like I certainly think you get Epona. I certainly think the Master Sword's here. I certainly think the Triforce lore is there. I certainly think it would be in their best interest to bring some of the fringe characters around, whether it be sages. Who knows? Like
Tingle plays a major part in this show. Yes, sir.
Oh my god. It depends. If they don't go the darker route, yeah, for sure. And that's going to be Seth Rogen also. So I don't know, man. Like I have been asking for a Zelda movie since I was young enough to love Zelda, because why not, right?
Is this a movie or a show? I can't even
This remember. Is a movie.
Okay.
This is the only other live action. I'm sorry, the only other confirmed feature film. So they've got. No, I apologize. I'm sorry. It's the only other character in a feature film. They've done the Mario story. They've announced a sequel to that now. I believe it has a date even. And then they've got Zelda that was announced last year when they talked about Mario coming out, but Mario being first. And then the rumors have stated that there's been IP filings for a Donkey Kong movie, which almost assuredly we all agreed would happen post the success of Mario Brothers and having Seth Rogen attached to it. I could even see a Luigi's Mansion with Charlie Day. So the Nintendo cinematic universe is here. And
we're spending way more time on this than I wanted to.
Yeah, sorry.
And I'm partially to blame for that.
Well, yes. And no. But this is the Casual Hours, episode 431. It is 7/16/25. Chase and I are here to tell you about video games outside of our hot takes on what could be happening and movies, allegedly. We're going to dip back into the beach and talk about Death Stranding because somebody decided to play that besides me. But before we do that, who could that be? A game that we covered on our monthly preview that I said, hey, this could be cool. I don't know if I'll pick it up right away. I heard from other people, hey, this is cool. So I decided to pick it up right away. And that is Mycopunk. This is a Devolver Digital joint. The developer of this one, though, let me pull that up because I forget that one.
And this is Myco, MYCO, like it's about mushrooms and shit.
It is, yeah. That's Mycology's part of it. This is actually put out by Pigeons at Play. They have not done anything else that I can see here. So this is currently in early access. It is $15. I think it's PC only because of those things. We did not know what to expect. I think we both said, hey, that looks cool. It has a style to it that we agreed was cool. Not quite Borderlands, not quite Sable. Somewhere between it. Your HUD is all distorted due to like a fisheye lens, which looks really rad in the menus. And it's got a gunk to it. It's got a style. It's got a smell. It is, in my opinion, if you took Risk of Rain, Helldivers, and probably a little Deep Rock Galactic, more around like the class piece of it, that's what this game is. So it is up to 4 players. You can do private matches. You can play it by yourself. You can match make into other events. It is a drop down, like there's a map. You can kind of see what the event is. One might be like, hey, go collect this thing. You're gonna have to fight through hordes of enemies. and then get back to the launch pad and bring this back to it. Like, and that'll wrap up the mission. It's pretty quick, like in and out with that. The other one might be, oh, if I land over here, this is just going to be hordes. You're just fighting, killing enemies. I don't want to call it a hero shooter because it's not, but in those 4 classes, there's always going to be like a grenade, so a throwable, very much like Deep Rock, and a unique ultimate or ability for your character. Those are on cooldowns. You have 2 weapons that you can bring out. You start with a shotgun that has elemental damage, and then you have a really cool assault rifle. What was the Destiny gun where the barrels rotated on the assault rifle? Remember what we're talking about?
It was the Cerberus +1.
Yeah. So your assault rifle has that. So like your reticule, reticule is going to be twisting around when you're shooting it. It is not dumb like the humor of Borderlands is. I would say it itches closer to the only part of Borderlands, which is the catch a ride, like that sort of part of Borderlands. It's just that. And that's the person kind of questing you up. Gunplay feels pretty good. The enemies are challenging. Like playing it by myself becomes a bit bullet helly, not to the point of like a Returnal, but there's just a lot of crowd control. And the idea here, there's some synergies that I think would be really fun to play with other people. So some of the classes, one has a jetpack, and you can just like hold space and really get away from shit in a good way. They have homing darts or homing missiles that they can shoot out also, but I believe those, if hit on your team, heal. If it hit on enemy, does damage.
Sure. Yeah.
The other one has like, you just build a grapple point, and it has a rope attached to it, and so you can grab that, build momentum, and then launch across the map. So like there's things here where it's like, if you had somebody who was creating those points, you can get away from the crowd pretty easily, and maybe you have a way to like kite them and do that work with it. There's another one where it's more tanky, so you're going to put a shield down. You can jump in the air and do like a big splash damage thing. So you're the
Do you feel like
brute.
you're actively having less fun by playing it solo? Like,
100%, dude. Like this is not a game I would probably have played more of this. I can link up with people, but I don't think it's a game so far at the stage I'm in where pulling and calling strategies out is necessary. It's just like having bodies out there to do it. Sure. And maybe it gets easier because that's the whole thing here. You are leveling up yourself and you're leveling up your weapons. So when you go down, you get leveling points, and then you can unlock and expand new abilities in a skill tree per character. So that stuff doesn't carry over. Like if I got skill points from a mission, I can't go to another one of the characters and use those to unlock stuff. From what I've seen so far, I might be missing something. So I think it's like you pay to upgrade in this, or I'm sorry, you play to upgrade in this. There are no microtransactions. There are no battle passes that I've seen. This is just like a get in, straight up PvE, hang out with your buds, shoot a bunch of like mushrooms and bugs and other things there. And I think this is really fucking cool. Like it's a very cool game in the sense of like what we did with Risk of Rain, what I've done with Helldivers and those other ones that I called out. It's an early access on PC, so unless I'm willing to wait a bit for other people, I probably won't be playing this with folks I care about. But I think this is something that you should at least keep on your radar because of your enjoyment of games like Risk of Rain, and I know that you like shooters, and this seems to be very good at both of those things from what I've picked up on.
Controller support?
I'm on the page. Let me double check. Full controller support. So that's all there. It can also use a DualSense via USB only, but it can work with my Xbox controller from the Steam page. Yeah. So yeah, they're doing some cool stuff here. So one of the, I'll just read from what was this one here? I don't know what it's. There's a Steam review, I believe, that just says Mycopunk is cheaper than a point of meth. Probably has fewer side effects too. I don't know if that's what I want to go off of, but it is cool, man. It's really neat, and I think that there is a game in here that you would enjoy.
Okay, sounds good.
Is there a game that you can enjoy in Death Stranding 2 on the beach though?
I mean, yeah, because it's a game I already have enjoyed. Like the
Yeah.
stuff I'm liking from Death Stranding 2 is kind of just the thing I played in Death Stranding 1.
Yep.
I still very much enjoy. So I'll back up a bit. Bobby talking about this game. I had some other people talking to me about this game. I was just relatively on the fence about it. I like the first game.
But you weren't really clocking this one leading up to this. Like it was.
No, yeah, it's like I enjoyed my time with the first one, and I didn't know that I was necessarily going to want or need a second one. But I think especially hearing you talk about how you were having a really good time with it,
Yeah.
which you fell off pretty hard on the first game.
Basically, when you move away from chapter 3, I think. So like or chapter 4, I can't remember. I got to the point where
it started snowing, you were not having fun.
I was not having fun anymore. And the story, it was really about the story.
Which is a decent ways into the game. Like you played a lot of that game.
I played a lot of it.
But you fell off pretty hard and you didn't care about the story. And you said last week you still didn't really care about the story of this one, but you were just having a good time with what the game was giving you.
Yep.
And so that was enough to make me go, all right, I'm nominally interested in what this game is. So let's go ahead and try it. And it's it's a lot like the first game, and that's fine by me. It's in a different setting. You start in Mexico and then go to a very different place after that. Mexico is kind of your tutorial intro area, and then they whisk you off to a new place, which I don't want to spoil for people if you care. But it's still like the things I like are still there. It's navigating the world. It's using your what is called order deck, order rec, whatever. To your scanner to look at things and plan routes, and I think that stuff's really interesting. I think you had mentioned the combat being better. I don't know if I feel like it's better. I just feel like it's maybe more prominent. Like it feels like they've put the combat in there to engage with more than in the first game.
One of the things I want to flag that I keep forgetting to bring up each week that we've talked about this game, because I didn't personally experience it. So I just want to preface it. I don't know if this is true, but I do recall kind of like a complete edition or a Game of the Year edition or some sort of director's cut of Death Stranding got released. And allegedly, some of the quality of life stuff that I've been celebrating of Death Stranding 2 was part of that for the first game, which may or may not be there. But I think that the menus, so like here's where I think the combat is more approachable. Like to break it down, like I now have a quick wheel action to detach my backpack. I can easily go back in and like equip a weapon. Having the gun holster gives me a gun kind of not taking up other space on my person that like I can grab and have at the ready.
Did you not have that in the first game?
I don't believe so. No, you did not have a gun holster in the first game unless that got added in the director's cut. So I think those types of things.
That either,
yeah, I don't think you went back to it at all, right? You just played it when you played it.
I didn't play any of the DLC or any of that. I just finished it and got out.
So
like I did with Metal Gear Solid 5, which was the right call.
Yeah,
play it like that. Get out before they fuck it up somehow.
I know. I have been kind of tempted to go back to that.
Me too. There's no good reason, but
I know. I'm just like, tempted. Like maybe anyway. So I'll just say I think those things make the combat more approachable, and I feel I can't remember this part either. So please forgive me because I did not go into the game more than like the building for a lot of it. But I think the timing of the game where they give you like a level 2 blood grenade. I don't know if you've done that. Like if you've maxed to that point or I've done it enough to get that point. Yeah. I have not encountered anything besides a boss battle where a blood grenade level 2 can't just fucking take care of what you're up against. So I don't need the thrill of combat in this game. I don't want to spend a lot of time with fucking BTs because I think
blood grenade doesn't work on humans.
No, the humans are fun to fight though.
Right, but yeah, so you need to have other weapons on you to fight.
I'm playing that part of the game a hell of a lot like MGSV. Like I'm playing.
So I am too, but I think it's much worse at that.
Oh, of course.
In my opinion.
Of course. Like, yeah.
Like, I want to fight human guys.
Mm-hmm.
They've given me options. They've given me some tools to make it easier. And somehow it's just not that fun to fight guys in my opinion in this game. Like and I don't think it was necessarily very fun to fight guys in the first game either, but you didn't really have to fight guys pretty much at all.
No.
But thinking about a game like MGSV, thinking of a game like Far Cry 3 or any of the Far Cries or Splinter Cells or stuff where you're walking around and you're marking people. Even like what was the game we played? Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Wildlands, yeah.
Like even that was, I feel like they gave you more points to do better recon, and they had the UI stuff in a more prominent way so you could keep track of people where they were. And this game has elements of that. It has those things. They're just not as good. The icons fade away faster. The lighting of the game is such a way that you just lose guys in the light. Like I think I don't know, maybe my game's just a little too blown out. Maybe I need to go change some settings, but I've just like tried to use I've tried to use Dollman. I've thrown Dollman up to do the
that is
like,
awesome.
stuff.
I don't care what that is great.
I mean, it's just like the Assassin's Creed Eagle at that point, which is also fine. But like
you're throwing a doll
up in the air. Sure, it's not a doll that goes in like what 10 frames a second, 15 frames a second, something like that.
Yeah.
But you throw the doll up, and I can mark everybody and feel like, okay, now I'm ready to go in and stealth. And the tools and UI just aren't there to make that as effective to me. And I think maybe it's also a case of the enemy AI isn't conducive to playing it that way as well. Yeah. I had a standoff today when I was playing it after work where I knocked a guy out. I went and used the strand and knocked him out. And then another guy was coming around. So I was like, okay, well, I got to get behind this building and now I'll just wait. And he just like walked up like right to where I was going to be, like behind the corner. And he just stood there for like a minute.
Oh, damn.
And I'm going like, you're gonna turn around at some point, right? Like are you really just standing here? Like, are we, what's happening? You don't see anything. You don't see anybody. Like, you're not on a loop exactly. You're just not doing anything. And then a second guy came up and he also just stood there. I was like, well, like, what am I supposed to do at this point? Am I like, if this was a Metal Gear Solid game,
yeah,
they would be moving around. Would be like, there was a difference to the AI of the the routing of these guys.
Oh yeah, I mean, like that was a game of those vignettes, and
right. And I don't think this game is conducive to those things as well, even though it purports to have them. And
I don't think this game should have it at all.
I don't think so either. But then they're also giving you silent sniper rifles that don't feel good to use.
Right.
They're giving you other tools of like, oh, here's a bunch of guns. Like, you should probably use those. Like, but all these guns kind of feel like garbage.
Yeah.
And I just don't like fighting enemies. I like delivering packages from here to there. That is the part that you're good at.
Totally.
And it's weird that this Kojima directed game has bad stealth and bad combat. That's not what you want.
It feels very cumbersome for being like, to have a whole point of your overall skills be dictated by stealth is pretty comical, because everything about this game is at odds about being stealth. Like, just your physical appearance is absurd. Like, you are going to be like not stealthy at all. I will tell you,
you've got 12 cases on your back, and you're
carrying 500 pounds of resin.
You're in the tall grass, which all of your packages are hanging out, but you are in the tall grass, so it counts it as stealth. Which
no, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
No, that's the thing. So like, you gotta shed your skin, which. Like, I will tell you this. So there's two vehicles so far that you can have. One is I think it's called TriCaster, right? Where it's
Yeah.
or something to that degree, and it's like a 3-wheeled trike. The other is it's like a big ass dump truck looking thing, but
Yeah,
it
it's
is,
like a truck van. It's like a Cybertruck
yeah,
basically. And those both of those vehicles were in the first game.
yeah. So the second one you can get fairly early in the game again, and there was a point where I was just like, okay, I'm only here still to 5-star everybody, so I just want to be able to load up every package I find, not worry about it, put it in the truck. So I was out cruising around with it. Chase, I had so much shit in this thing, and I came across one of the bandit camps in the next place you go in the game, and as I'm cruising, I was like, oh, you know what? I got this new sniper rifle, the one that you were talking about. Like, let me see what I can do from a distance. I don't really want to engage with it. But there was a little bluff 5-7 feet away from where I had parked my car, and I could get a good view. So I go up there. I'm like locked in. I'm hitting people, doing my thing. And all of a sudden, I was like, where's my fucking truck? Like, it was right here. Like, I know I didn't walk that far. And then like all of a sudden there's like an icon on the screen that's just like flashing red circle. And I turn and look at it. These fucking assholes came up from the bandit camp and stole my truck. And when I get there, they pull over and a guy's just throwing all my package out of the truck. Like,
Oh, that's fun.
we don't need any of these. Fuck you.
Sure.
So like I shoot them and take it, but that's a cool thing. Like that's a weird Kojima thing. And I love the spontaneity of it. And I love that I had this little comical moment of like, oh, this guy's throwing my packages out. I'll be able to get them. What damage is that causing? But then I was just like, oh, well, this could have been a very quick, like, pull out your sniper, pop, 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 get back in your truck. But I was wrestling with a few things on like, I know I hit you with this. And to go back to your icons, there's no immediate thing that told me like you're going down because it's a trank. So it's not going to be like a rubber bullet that drops them. Like, so I'm like, did I hit him?
If you hit him in the head, they go down immediately. If you hit
They
him in the
do,
body,
but sometimes it's more like, ooh, like I've seen, but I don't know. Anyway, I get the friction you're bumping into with it. And I think that much friction I can handle. If it becomes more of like, oh, this is a very dumb story, which it is, and the combat continues to become more of a, like I'm doing more of the combat than the deliveries, that's when I might be like, I'm not having as fun with this.
Yeah, I just don't think it's interesting friction. I think that the first game, I understood that the combat wasn't there and just kind of prioritized it, and it wasn't as big of a deal. And Metal Gear Solid V was almost perfect in that regard.
Yeah.
Not perfect in a lot of other regards, but at least in like the playing it and doing the stealth action stuff, that is top tier perfection. So it's kind of weird how he was not able to transfer it over to this game, or either of the Death Stranding games at this point. I sound a little down on. I'm actually really enjoying the game itself because I am still enjoying trekking around. I like having my climbing anchors and having my ladders and navigating a space and trying to figure out little things with that and building a bridge. And I still love going back and forth to get all the materials I need to build those roads. It's such a sense of accomplishment to build a road and then to just not have to worry about the bullshit that you built the road over anymore. That stuff has gone really well so far, and that's been fun to do. I've had a couple boss battles. I think the boss battles continue like the first game to not be great, but they're fine. They're not very difficult. I'm also not playing on a really hard difficulty, but mostly it's just been.
Are you doing story?
Just chuck grenades. Do what?
You doing story?
No. I'm a step above that.
Okay.
At least that, or maybe I'm just playing normal. I don't know. I can't remember. But mostly it's just been just chuck grenades. You're fine. And honestly, you didn't even need to load up anything because there's a bunch of shit on the ground all the time that just can handle anything too.
Yeah.
So that part's been kind of fine. Whatever. The story hasn't been very good in my opinion. It's the first game at least was introducing you to a lot of stuff, and it was weird and new and interesting. And you go, okay, like there's so much mystery here. Yeah. And in the second game, I feel Kojima has just kind of taken the word nanomachines and did a find and replace with the word chiral.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, well, there's a chiral network and there's chiral crystals. And this was in the first game too, but like everything is just something about chiral. And there's chiral poisoning, but chiral is also all the stuff that we use for all the great things that we have, but it's also the worst thing ever, and it's going to kill us all. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. But I think just the story that they're telling here is not very
No.
well established at all either. Like the first game was that you had this BB, this beach baby or bridge baby called Lou, and you were taking Lou around and you were kind of protecting Lou. And at the end of that game, you free Lou in a way where he doesn't have to be the bridge baby in the case anymore, and he can grow up. He or she, I think Lou. I don't think they've set a gender for Lou. Maybe
It's it's a girl.
It's a girl. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they've set up Lou in this second game as growing older. This baby is now a toddler, and you're caring for this girl, and then she goes away.
Yeah, that's a way to say it.
The game tries to say like she gets killed. That's maybe not the case, but also somehow Lou is back to being a BB and also in your pod case again. And it feels like Kojima's just like, I needed to find a way to put the baby back in the case.
Well, they also, here's where it's confusing though, because the other thing that I can't remember if this was in the first game, was Dooms in the first game?
Yes. Like the idea that Dooms is the whole thing with the babies, is like that's why the BBs can see the BTs because of the Dooms,
but
bridge
apparently
babies can find the beach things because they have this Dooms syndrome or whatever. But also your guy Sam/Daryl has Dooms, so he can also kind of see them.
That's the point, because this is like we will spoil a little bit of the tutorial of this game. Like basically, so you end up like going out on your first mission without Lou, and and you don't need Lou because you can detect the BTs. So like I don't know why they need
Doom's level has been upgraded, which is so stupid. Like
it's dumb.
That's not even like a funny Kojima, let me point at the mechanics of stuff. It's just kind of stupid generally. Or it's like, oh, your Dooms, you have a higher Dooms level.
I know.
You get the fucking baby back to see the BTs. Why did you do that?
And so like that whole thing to me is just like, well, do we even need this? And
you don't.
There's parts of it that the story goes some places, and like I can't say for certain what is going on with whatever that is. I'll ask you a question though, since you have been out with the younger BB again on your belly. Have you gotten into a point where you've stressed that thing out terribly? Like,
yes.
Have you looked at it?
Yeah.
Pretty fucking weird.
Yeah, but that was in the first game. Like the first game also had like, you shook the baby. You gotta now like take the pod off, and your aura deck like becomes a
carousel or something.
Cradle.
Or no.
Yeah, there's a different word.
The thing that like you put above a crib.
That's the one.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, we both know. We'll figure it out at some point.
The penguin's umbrella was.
Yes. Mobile, that's what it's called.
Yeah, Mobile.
So like it turns into that, and it plays soothing music, and so that was also in the first game. So I'm having this real struggle of playing this game and going, why did we make a second one outside of the first one did well, let's make a second one? Because I'm not seeing much of the innovation here. In fact, like you're kind of getting Metroided, where you just don't have any of the shit that you had at the end of the first game, but they're all just kind of giving you back the same shit that you had. Like, oh, hey, here's the carrier. And it's like, yeah, I had a carrier before. Like, oh, hey, did you, here's your upgraded shotgun. And it's like, yeah, we we had an upgraded shotgun that did the same thing. Like
Do you know
this is
why,
not new
Chase?
information. People are acting like, oh, we were able to like chiral things, and the chiral made it so we could make this new innovation. It's like, that's not new. We had that. What
It's
are you
because
talking about?
there is no money, Chase, in any form of entertainment where original ideas are being greenlit.
Yes, but also like this is Kojima. He had, in terms of game development, a blank check. That's a relative term, but he still
For
they
Death
gave him
Stranding.
money. They gave him money to do whatever he wanted to do, and he chose to kind of make the same game again,
I mean,
and
it's
that's a little
very much
disappointing to
that.
me.
And I
Yeah.
think that there's like people, and I haven't gotten this far in the game, but they tried it.
Yeah,
And I mean,
we're both still relatively early. Like
yeah,
I think I have 10, maybe 15 hours in the game, which feels like a lot of time. That is,
yeah.
you could play multiple games in that amount of time. But at the same time, I feel like the game is just kind of starting. I did my second boss fight tonight,
Yep.
and it's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's a cool looking boss. I didn't think it played particularly well, um, but
I
we're still early. We haven't gotten the revelations. Like maybe there is something new that changes the dynamics of what this game does. But for now, for the amount of time that we've played it so far, it's feeling like a lot more just like
and
more Death Stranding 1, and it's
I
fine.
I will call out, like, I'm playing this in a way that I don't know if everybody should, unless you are like a completionist. I'm not playing it for that, but if you max out 5 stars with the folks you're delivering to, they give you items, and after the one sniper rifle got that hell of an upgrade, if you did it, I'm like, well, fuck, do I need to do all these? And I think I can confidently say no.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and they give you stuff at each star. Like there's
yeah,
5 stars
yeah,
you can get, and you get stuff at each star. So you don't have to max out everybody to get new stuff. And you'll just naturally get some stuff for some people. I don't think you have to do any of that at all if you don't want to. But
no,
like Bobby said, some of those tools are kind of cool. Like it's
yeah,
cool to get a silent sniper rifle. It feels like, oh, now you really have something with power. But then like it still doesn't feel good to use.
yeah. It's
Because I
more
don't
about
like
like,
finding and marking enemies in this game.
yeah, I want something that's gonna make, like, is this gonna make life easier for me? And there you can get back into the game. I'm sorry, into these other areas. So like, hey, go get more shit, because you get a lot more unlocked as you progress the story. And I should probably do that, to be very candid. Like, if there's going to be a wall I run into, I should just figure it out that way. Because
Yeah.
I just don't want to keep playing this game if that's going to happen.
Well,
And
and they also haven't introduced the things that made the first game really cool to me, like
like
the way they played off of some of
the grappling hook
the
shit,
things they were doing. Not necessarily the grappling hook stuff,
not
but
grappling hook. I'm
even
sorry, but the
just
zip lines.
yeah, but not even just that. It's there eventually became missions that were timed. um,
Yeah,
and I generally do not like timers, but I liked how you do your standard deliveries. Deliver this thing here. You can't take that much damage. We'll give you a worse grade if the more damage it takes. But then there are some that go, okay, now we're being real serious. This is a very fragile, breakable thing, and you have to be very careful when you're moving this package. But then there were also ones that said, this is a time delivery. You need to get this thing to this person fast. Uh, and that was a different way of playing the game and engaging with it to not only try to take a safe route but to take a fast route, which can be two very different things in Death Stranding, in the Death Stranding universe. And I haven't gotten to those kinds of missions yet where it feels like they're putting other kinds of pressure on me or
yeah,
making me engage with the game in a certain way. Like so far, I am still just kind of doing the normal stuff, and it's fine. I like that. I like walking around to different places. I've enjoyed being on the bike and taking
yeah,
things
dude.
through the bike. I enjoy getting off the bike and just finding my ways of navigating up a mountain. I will say one thing that I can't remember if it's in the first game. I think it kind of is, at least in some form or fashion. is that I think the game is making its own trails. Like as you walk over an area,
Yeah, yeah,
or
it
maybe
is.
as yeah, like the
Yeah,
strandness of this game, that
yeah.
as other people are walking these paths, it makes the world more navigable.
Hmm.
That the first time I went and met the lone commander, it was a real trek to go up some of
Yeah.
these hills, and there wasn't an easy way to get up there. And there was also a very dangerous BT area that you had to go through and or avoid, and it made it very treacherous. And now it's become way easier to get there, and now I can just do it on my bike
Yeah.
because I can have relatively smooth ground the whole way, and that in and of itself feels like progress. It feels like what this game is trying to kind of communicate in its mechanics of
Hmm.
connecting things to a network, making making those kinds of connections, not just physically but as emotionally and that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
making those connections makes things easier when we all work together, blah blah blah. And you see that in the game. You saw that in the first game with, here's like a structure somebody put down. Somebody put a bridge over this river. It makes it easier for the rest of us to get over this river. Great. But in this game, it actually feels like the landscape is terraforming itself a little bit as people are just walking these paths to make it easier to get to place. And
Can I
I
give
think
you a pro
that
tip?
part has been really cool. Yeah, what's up?
So, one thing I think that's really cool is you can stack ladders in this one. I think that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, when you get into like a mountainous area, um, bring 4 ladders with you, and
Okay.
or 2, depending on like how big the either the hill is or the gap you have to clear. Park your either your buggy or your TriCaster or whatever it is to where you can see its footprint,
Hmm.
and you can put ladders down per wheel. So like where the wheels would be. And
Sure.
then you can just cross over with that. Like I found that to get me out of a pickle numerous times where it's like I can get over there without having to have it's too steep to build a bridge, but a ladder is perfect for it. And if I do 2 of
Yeah.
these, then I can just go up with my vehicle.
I just generally do not like using the car. I like using the bike a decent amount. I don't think the bike feels that great either, but the car just feels like a too big and rigid thing. And I like the times where I'm having the most fun in that game
Hmm.
is where I am walking through rough terrain and I'm having to keep my balance, or I'm having to like hold the grips, and I'm having to constantly use my scanner to see the little red X's to go, oh, don't go there, don't go that way. Okay, this yellow stuff you got to be a little careful with. Or now here's like a river, you have to navigate that, but is it too deep? Like, do I need to put a ladder up here so I can cross that? Like those things when you're just on foot and having to make those little, not split second decisions, but those little tiny decisions at lots of different little points as you go up a hill. That stuff has always been the most interesting part of Death Stranding to me. And I think Death Stranding 2 has a good amount of those moments. And that's the part I'm still enjoying, despite, somebody giving me a mission to go take out the brigands, and me going like, okay, well, I'll try to stealth this. And then immediately stealth gets broken by something that does not feel like I had a real hand in. And then I just go, okay, well, I have to use some bad guns to shoot everybody now. And none of that felt good, but I guess I'll just raid their post boxes now.
I yeah, I want it to be clear, like as of July 16th, this is one of my favorite games this year. And I don't know what that will look like come December, but like all these things that we're criticizing, like this is a game I'm thinking like I will play this game tonight before bed. Like that's what I want to do. Like I want to play more of this game. Like I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah. But at the same time, we're we're being kind of hard on it because we want to like it more. Like
Yeah.
there is real potential for this thing to be awesome. And it's not quite there, and the reasons that it's not quite there are very frustrating to me, because for me at least, they're very similar to the things that I had a problem with in Death Training 1, and it feels like we just didn't fix any of those things.
I'll
And we made the good parts even better. We made the bad parts just the same amount of bad, and the story, which I enjoyed more in the first one. I won't say it was good, but I enjoyed more in the first one. I'm not enjoying nearly as much in this one. mostly because I just haven't seen much of anything that counts as story to me so far.
Whenever we were talking about it, I went ahead and looked it up to bring it up here. But I've got Death Stranding, Death Stranding 2 on the beach, Metal Gear Solid V, The Phantom Pain, all pulled up with the release year and their Metascore. So they 2019, 2025, and 2015. So 10 years we've had since Metal Gear. Plenty of time to bring it into the game. But Death Stranding had an 82 Metascore, and Death Stranding 2 has a 90. And Metal Gear Solid V, The Phantom Pain, was a 93. My question to you is, what do you think moved the general Metascore here up 8 points from Death Stranding 1? Like, what is it? Is it the fidelity of the game? Is it the quality of life stuff we called out? Like, what do you think that is?
One, I think it's probably recency bias. I don't think a lot of people, I don't think you've gotten as many reviews of Death Stranding 2 yet to potentially bring that average down. And two, I think it's probably more just the environment that it came out in. I don't remember all the other games that came out around Death Stranding 1, but there's certainly a case of, is that number that comes out is a comparison of the stuff that it's around. And,
sure.
And I think that I just haven't seen a whole lot of games that I'm super excited about this year. I'm different than a lot of people. I know there are games that you really like, but I think the timing of Death Stranding 2 has felt like it's come out when not a lot of other heavy hitters have really been there. So I think a lot of people are coming into this game as like, oh, well, this is the best game that's out right now. And I think that might be giving it better scores than the first one. But I've honestly, I think this is maybe like a tick or two below the first one, because the first one at least had the novelty of being new and interesting and mysterious. And this game has a lot less mystery because I remember so much about how I played the first one, and it all just transfers over here.
Let me pull this up really quick.
I mean, we talked about it before the podcast started, but you were theorizing stuff about Donkey Kong Bonanza's Metascore, and I very much do not take stock in Metascores, but that's going to be the third game for the Switch too. So yeah. I think that could also be artificially boosted by, hey, it's the big new Switch game on the console that had no games yet, had no real games outside of Mario Kart, which was kind of mid. So I feel like that one could also be like an artificially boosted one of just like, it's the one game, and if it's good, we're gonna say it's great, and if it's fine, we're gonna say it's good. Like I think that could just get like a nice little boost of having no competition.
Well, isn't next month Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater? I think that's next month.
Maybe. Hey, a game that I care about even less than Death Stranding 2.
Well, no, what I'm getting at is I think people, especially in the Sony camp, are a bit starved this year. Like, there's not been a ton of exclusives. And
dude, it was so funny. I cannot remember who put out the Blue Sky post, but there was something that was just the Wikipedia page of PlayStation 5 exclusive games, and they said from the time that it was last year to this year, same date when Death Stranding 2 came out, and they said of the list, like, we've gone 365 days, and the list has actually gotten smaller of PlayStation 5 exclusive games, because some of those games, like Spider-Man, have come to other consoles. Like, there are fewer PlayStation 5 exclusives this year than in total than there were last year. Isn't that fucked?
Sony gets glazed up all the time by their base, but at the end of the day, like, this year especially, they've got Death Stranding, which people are just starved for something good there. Yeah. And I'll tell you, like, I bounced off of Ghost of Tsushima pretty quick. After watching the gameplay of Yote, I think I'll probably play that this year, but I did not leave that presentation thinking, like, God, they really fucking improved it, didn't they? Like,
then why are you playing it? Why would you play that game if you didn't like the first one?
because they could have improved it, like that's not unheard of. Like, I didn't play The Witcher 2. I played Witcher 3, liked it a whole lot. I think Assassin's Creed 2 I didn't finish Assassin's Creed compared to Assassin's Creed 2. Like,
Ghost of Yotei, though, just looks basically exactly the same.
That's my point. Like, I don't know if I will. I have a shared library with somebody, so if they get it, I'll check it out.
Okay.
But like,
I thought you were saying like, oh, I didn't really like that first game, but I'm gonna buy the second one. It's like, why would you do that?
Well, I did that with Death Stranding too. I paid.
I don't know why you did that.
Because I saw it was getting good reviews. I heard about the improvements, and that all for me, all that stuff's true. Like, I am having a great time with this game compared to the first one. So I am here to argue against the logic of like, don't try something because you didn't like. Why not? Like, if it got better, why wouldn't I be curious? So I was very hoping that, like,
more expensive these days. Like, there's so many other games that we could play that I don't think we have to waste our time on games that we don't think we're gonna like.
Well, I did not buy it blindly. I went into it after seeing clips and hearing things about it. So like, I am half in the bag on it. Like, we split the cost, but I paid money for it. So like, I'll say that much. What I'm getting at is Sony is in a dangerous spot where they are canceling other shit. Anything that has come out since last year, in my opinion, I think is like either a sequel or a remaster or something. Like, there's not a lot outside of Astrobot, which was still a sequel.
Well, that's a sequel.
Right. Like, different enough, but still sequel. It just seems like they're not taking bets any longer on shit. And maybe that's why we got something so samey, because people really revered what DS1 was.
Well, Bobby, let me give you a little counterpoint here. It's technically a sequel, but it's not really a sequel. It's kind of like a whole new franchise. It's a game called Marathon. It's a Sony-owned video.
That got delayed indefinitely, right?
Yeah, as it probably should. I don't know, and I don't think Xbox is any better off. In fact, they're kind of worse off. Generally and morally, but also, what are they putting out these days? Like they've
AI generated ads for designers. That's what they're putting out.
Yes, with text on the back of the display. Yeah, it makes
a
lot of sense. Good stuff.
I'll say this really quick. There is an ongoing boycott against Microsoft, but I have been a believer in the promise that they have been selling, and that has, after this most recent year of shit, like, I am at a point where it is hard for me to. I mean, I gave up trying to defend it. I just leaned into like, this is convenient for me because I've already invested into it. But I'm at a point now where it's just like, you are making this really fucking hard for me to want to continue having anything to do with what you're doing. And I have lost all enthusiasm for companies becoming part of your company.
It's wild though. Like, we're in an era where there are more games than ever.
Yep.
Too many games, still way too many fucking games.
Yep.
And yet, you are Microsoft. You bought all these fucking studios over the last 10 years or whatever. Yep. You have all the money in the world because you're Microsoft. And you still aren't putting out many games. How is this possible? How do you not have a giant ass library of exclusive titles? What's going on over there? And I know what's going on over there. It's greed, and it's tax write-offs, and it's corporate bonuses, and it's shipping off technology to Israel. Like, it's a lot of bad shit over there.
Dude, it's all fucked. It's all fucked. And I think that, like, I'm not trying to be old man yelling at clouds here, but like, I want you to think about. So, Fortnite came out 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to think about, like, in your younger days, like, I want you to think about like Super Nintendo to like, so 91 to 2002.
Okay.
Think about how different games looked generationally over an 11-year period. And not only, I'm not talking graphics, I'm talking about, it felt like a lot of what you were seeing was new shit, weird ideas. They did not look like clones and copies. That was there for sure, but not to the degree it is. And I look at something like a Fortnite, 11 years of Fortnite potentially comparatively, where that game's changed. And I'm not dogging on Fortnite, but I'm dogging more on the lack of encouragement and funding to do new shit. And it's not just games. Fuck, like somebody from Pixar recently came out. There's a new movie that was not a sequel or an adjacent spinoff from any of their 25, 30-year backlog catalog. And it's not doing well. It's like the lowest attended, and I think maybe even like rated Pixar movie. And the guy's like, hey, stop bitching about not having new ideas. Like, if you're not going to support them, we're just going to keep giving you sequels. Like, that's what we're going to do, because that's what we're doing here. Like,
yeah, I mean, one of the biggest things in gaming that I can remember, and it feels quaint now, but it's when EA said, we're gonna go all in on new IP, and we got Dead Space and we got Mirror's Edge, and they're like, this is it. We're doing it. We're putting a lot of money behind these things. We're putting our money where our mouth is. We're doing new IP, and both of them did fine.
Yeah,
and then the EA was like, well, that was, I guess, an experiment, and then they kind of stopped doing that. Yeah, I mean, it's thinking back to that old time. There's certainly, you can't put the graphics aside, because there was this, everything felt new because you were going from a transition from 2D to 3D, or even when you were on 16-bit consoles, you had things like Star Fox that were like, well, we're still kind of doing 3D stuff here. Isn't that interesting? Where like there were limits kind of being pushed in there. And we're at a point now, and we've been at a point for the last few console generations, where games kind of just look like this. They're going to get sharper. They're going to get, more polygons, better fidelity, that kind of stuff. Like we're getting more stuff, but also it's diminishing returns. Like these games kind of just look like games. Does Final Fantasy X look all that much better than Final Fantasy 16 at this point? I mean, if you put them right next to each other, you'd go, wow, 16 looks way better than 10. But at the same time, they kind of look similar. Like if you put Super Mario Brothers World or Super Mario World versus against Super Mario 64, those look like completely different things.
That's my point.
Going from 2D to 3D is a huge shift, and we just don't have a huge shift these days. They tried. They wanted to push VR as a whole new shift to things, but we've talked about the problems with VR for a long time, and that's just not it. And now we're trying to push AI as a similar kind of thing of like, this is going to be the newness. We tried to push 3D as that, not 3D as in like 3D models.
No,
3D
but like
as in
TVs
like the fucking
and
glasses
screens
that
and
you
shit.
wear. Yeah. Like there's been a grasping at straws to figure out a new technology that's going to completely change the way we play video games. And I don't necessarily think we need a hardware solution to build cool new games. I think you need creativity when it comes to building cool new games. And that's not something that the money guys are going to understand or appreciate.
Nope.
And that's I think why you're getting a lot of sequels, a lot of the very same kinds of things, a lot of very safe stuff, and you continue to find new innovations in indie spaces until one of those indies hits big like a Balatro, and then everybody goes, okay, well that one's safe to do now. So now like
everything
that
this
innovation,
Balatro.
right, that innovation has become safe, so now we can do it.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a bunch of games that are like Balatro. We had that with like Slay the Spire and
Vampire Survivors.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's not an indies will save us situation exactly, because the whole industry is bad. It's just a tough time right now.
It's real tough.
And it's wild to me. I go back to it that we're getting more games than ever now. it's so hard to keep up with the amount of games, and I've kind of just stopped trying. I know I do like the monthly previews, but generally I've stopped trying to pay attention to new games. It's also really hard because all the outlets that I would read are gone now. Like they all died. So I don't have a place to go look up when the cool new games are coming out and whether they're good or not. But it's it just I don't know, man. I don't it's not the same anymore. And I don't want to be the old man who yells at cloud either, but there's a shift to the way that we've thought about games and built games and talked about games, and it's just different. It's different, and it's not getting better because of a lot of things that we cannot control, and it sucks.
Yeah, it makes it hard to run a hobby like this show, where this is supposed to be a joyous and like fun thing for us to do, when the thing that we care deeply enough about to be doing a podcast for 431 episodes on is covering an industry that we're becoming more fed up with.
And you got Nintendo, you got Sony, you got Microsoft, and none of them can seem to make games. Like we launched the Switch with 2 games,
or treat people decently.
Sure. Sony can't make new video games, new exclusives.
Microsoft can buy the biggest developers and somehow fuck that up.
Yeah, somehow they never make games anymore. And all the other big game developers out there and publishers aren't putting out games. Ubisoft's not putting out nearly as many games as because they were
fucking over. And allegedly.
There's so many things of games not coming out, and yet there are more games than ever somehow, and it's exhausting, honestly, and it's a bummer. Like you wish you could find. There needs to be ways of finding games, of platforming games in a way to show them off to more people and get them the recognition they deserve. But we also don't pay for any of the services to do that. We want to either do that algorithmically, which sucks, or we want to do it as Steam curator lists and things like that, where we just go, it's out of our hands. Just let the people figure it out. And yes, that's the word of mouth is good. Like that's a great way to have things, but without these outlets, without game journalists and reviewers and things like that, it's really hard to get your name out there and to find cool new video games anymore. And it's a real bummer. And that's really something that we should be like, if we're trying to build an audience, this is like the job for us.
Yeah.
And they're also just 2 guys. This is not our full-time job, and we're fucking tired.
Yeah, and like there could be a time where we change the games that we cover on here because of that. And we might shift, and like we might make efforts to chase things that we feel are more sustainable or morally aligned with where we're at. Like,
and that was part of the thing with the wheel. It's like the thing with the wheel is that, hey, there's a whole lot of games that I have not gone and played that I really should have. And instead of trying to chase this dragon of new video games that are bumming me out most of the time, what if I just went back and played the games I was supposed to play a long time ago? And that's been relatively successful.
Yeah. If
I actually go and play the video games, which I have not been doing either.
Well, let's wrap this thing up tonight. Maybe this will be a conversation for a deeper dive, but this week we did do something fun. We went to a game that came out last year, so we're doing our part already, and we are checking out Yes, Your Grace Snowfall, and we're calling that series the Royal We. We're going to play through it. I like the loop. I think it's going to be cool when we get in the groove of just like, okay, I know I got to go do X, Y, and Z every day, and we're gonna have to manage our resources a bit more. But I think the writing seems to be pretty sharp and witty in that already, and I like the choices we've made so far. I think this one could have some good legs. So we'll see how bad we fuck up a kingdom, but so far it's going all right. We told you about the shitty industry, but the games inside of it. And I'm hoping a morning stream on Friday, as I have family coming over, of Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I think comes out in just like an hour, if I'm not mistaken. So I might play that tonight too and see if that's ready to go, depending on how Death Stranding goes. But Chase, you've been busy, I assume. right?
I have been. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I started a new series on Chase K Plays. We finished up Split Fiction, and I took a break last week, and now it's time to start something new. So, we talked a little bit about Microsoft. I'm playing through Double Fine's 2011. I want to get this right. 2011. Whoa, I was right.
You were right.
Those things. Their 2011 video game Iron Brigade, which was originally called Trenched, which I like the word Trenched. It's a series I call Retrenched. I'm getting back in the trenches.
You're getting back into it.
Yeah. So Double Fine, it's a weird one. Double Fine, this game was originally published by Microsoft Game Studios, but then the rights went to Double Fine, and then Double Fine got bought by Microsoft. So, it's a bit of a moral gray area, but it's also a 14-year-old game at this point, and I already owned it, so I just kind of wanted to play it.
Fair.
You can make your own decisions on how you want to do that. I'm also linking all the BDS boycott page in the description of every episode, so people can go learn more about, why maybe you shouldn't give Microsoft your money. But outside of that, it's a cool video game that was one of my favorites on the Xbox 360, and it's one I'm really excited to go back to. The first episode is up now, retrenched with fantastic thumbnail art by one Mr. Bobby P.
Hey.
I think you outdid yourself. I think
thanks. You like
I
it?
think this is one of your best pieces. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
It's fantastic. So go check that out. Check out the episode. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to playing that for the foreseeable future. It's a cool video.
That's very cool. If you ever want company just to pop in and hang out so you can show, I've never seen that. Like, I'm happy to make a guest appearance.
It does have co-op multiplayer. Now I'm not going to go ask you to buy a Microsoft published video game, but if you already had that video game, we could play. Play
I'll see what I can do.
Pretty cool. Also, outside of any of that, I've got another podcast that I do with great friend of the show, Pierce Corshane. It's called Pilot Program, where we watch the first episodes of every television show ever made. We ended up pushing the episode that we were going to record last week to this week, so we should be recording tomorrow. That's going to be on MTV Cribs. I'm really excited for it and cannot wait to get that recorded and edited and out there for all you people to listen to. It should be an interesting one. I think
that's gonna be awesome.
Cool stuff to talk about with that. Yeah. So go check that out. Link in the chat right there, or shows.acast.com/pilotprogram.
Will do. All right, Chase. Thanks for the conversation. Thank you all for listening. And